You have your biceps. There are two of them. Do you notice how this says bicep brachii short head, biceps brachii long head? You do not need to know which one's short head, which one's long head. You do not. You just need to know that that's the bicep brachii. So basically, if you were to make a muscle, you would be flexing your bicep brachii. Okay. Going along underneath that, you're going to see brachialis underneath it. It's coming from your brachial region, and so that is the brachialis. We'll have another page we'll label here in a second. So this is the front, this is anterior view, and it's called biceps because there are two of them. But again, you don't have to know long or short. Same thing with tricep. You don't need to know lateral head or long head. You just need to know posterior view, the ones on the back side of your arm that I also need to work on. Those are your triceps brachii. And again, you can't just put biceps and triceps. You have to put brachii because they're in the brachial region. Because we're going to see something when you get into the femoral region with the legs. So this is what it looks like on the mannequin. There's your deltoid. In the anterior side, you have your biceps. In the posterior side, you have your triceps brachii. Let me say it right. And then in between, it's technically stuck up underneath it with the mannequin. It's hard to see. But right in between there is the brachialis. This is the brachialis here. So biceps brachii, triceps brachii behind it. In between here, right here whereas the deltoid is attaching at that tuberosity, you're having brachialis come through. Then we get to the arm, and the arm gets pretty difficult. So if we were in class, I would go over this many times with the mannequin. Because we're happening to do it this way, you're going to be seeing 2D pictures. So I think I've got some pretty good 2D pictures. So what I need you to understand, if I told you to flex your muscle, you would be bringing up usually your palm side up. So I want you to understand that palm side are where your flexor muscles are. And then if you were to extend to try to grab something, usually your palm would be down, you'd be reaching out. So these are going to be your extensors. So your extensors are going to be on the top of your hand, and your flexors are on the palm side of your hand. So you kind of have to understand that. And then brachioradialis is going to be leaving the brachial region, which is your upper arm region, and going all the way down the radius. So that one is called brachioradialis because, and it says muscles of the forearm that flexes the forearm and the elbow. And then it says exercises like hammer curls and reverse curls work this. So those, some of you that are bodybuilders, you kind of probably know a little bit more of that. Flexors are a group of muscles located on the posterior side of the forearm that are able to for extension of the wrists and the fingers. So we're going to look at that, and they're going to help us supinate. Remember, supinate would mean turn our palm side up, looking towards the sun. So I really like this, but it's really pretty cheap, but it's color coded so you can see. So what I'd like you to know what you're looking at is you're looking at a left hand, and so this right here is where the thumb is. So you might write yourself a note, that's where the thumb is. That's important because if I know thumb side, and when I do these muscles, I always find the center guy first, and the center guy is here, this blue one. It leads to the palm of your hand. I'll show you in a moment. So this leads to the palm. It's a very long one that leads to the palm of your hand. This is palmaris longus. Palmaris longus. So palmaris longus, if I then go towards thumb side you have the bone radius, right? You have the radius. So look at the name of this one, flexor, because it's on the palm side, okay, because it's one of your flexor muscles. It's carpi because it goes down to your carpal area, so that's your wrist area. If you saw there's a tendon there that it's connecting to. So flexor, and extends all the way down to the carpi, which is the wrist area, and then radialis because it goes down along the radius bone. So flexor carpi radialis. Mouthful, 3 words, I know. Okay, so there's palmaris longus in the middle of your palm. If I go on the other side, which is where you have your, remember your ulna is on your pinky side, so I'm going to go pinky side. This one's called a flexor because it's the palm side. It's carpi because it's going to the wrist area, and then it's ulnaris because it's going along the ulna. So there's the one, palmaris longus. Then if I go radius side, flexor carpi radialis. If I go the ulna side towards the pinky, flexor carpi ulnaris. And then you have one that this one actually helps you turn your arm one way or the other. It helps you pronate. This is pronator teres. It's one that goes a little bit to the side. It's actually going under brachioradialis, but so there's that. That's what this is, brachioradialis. It's not covered up, but it's leaving that brachial region going all the way down the radialis region. All right, so I have this. This is the same thing that you have in your packet, so you might want to take a second, pause the video, and I'm going to take a picture of this one and see if I can help you with this a little bit. All right, so this is your thumb side over here, so you might draw yourself a thumb. Don't make fun of my thumb. Okay, so there's thumb side. So there's a large tendon. This is leading into the palm of your hand. So if I trace this tendon up, can you see that this would go to the palm of your hand? So this is palmaris longus. If I then go over towards pinky side, I have flexor carpi ulnaris. If I then leave this one and go this direction, I have flexor carpi radialis. Do you see those 3? I would color code them if you could, where you can see them a little bit better. So those are those 3. There's pronator teres. It kind of goes sideways. And the long one up here that goes all the way from the brachial region all the way down the radius, goes all the way on that thumb side. So it's going all the way to the top. That's brachioradialis. Brachioradialis there, all the way down there. So then there's one I didn't talk about. Do you notice there's one sticking out underneath there? So this one is going to be flexor digitorum superficialis. It helps you flex your digits. If I could trace it back in there, you could see it kind of running towards your finger. So flexor digitorum superficialis. I'm going to explain why it's called superficialis. That's very confusing to students. Students think it's actually underneath these other 3 guys. It's underneath these other 3 guys, but we call it superficialis. Superficial means it should be on the top, but it's actually underneath. And the reason is there is a flexor digitorum that's in the middle, and then there's one that's actually deep. So there's actually 3 different layers of this muscle. Let me get rid of that. And this is that picture. I didn't show the deep one, but here's those 3 that so look here. See that? The palm of your hand, that's a good picture there. There's palmaris longus, and then if I go pinky side, there's flexor carpi ulnaris, and then if I go towards the radius side, there's the flexor carpi radialis, and there's brachioradialis because it goes from all the way up there down. It's the one leading to your thumb. Underneath these, you have this one, that flexor digitorum superficialis. Underneath this, you actually have a deeper one. So it's kind of crazy. I took that picture off so you couldn't see. So you just have to realize this guy's actually sitting underneath those muscles. All right, so now we got to do the top of your hand. So this is again a good picture. So this yellow one that's leading all the way down to 4 of your fingers there. Your fingers are also known as digits. Okay, so this one that leads to 4 of your fingers, we are now on the top of your hand, and so these are no longer called flexors. These are called extenders. Remember, if I extend my hand out to greet someone, to shake your hands, which we don't do right now. So these are this is extensor digitorum, extends the digits. That should kind of make sense. Okay, we're not going to do all of those. There's brachioradialis again. All right, I want to then go, if I go thumb side from this guy, I always have a center point guy. If I go thumb side, you're going to find 2 muscles. One goes up higher and stretches down, so this one's longer, and then right below it's a shorter one. So you got a long one and a short one. The longer one is an extensor carpi radialis longus, because it's longer, and the one right below it is extensor carpi radialis brevis. The word brevis means short, so this one's long, this one's short. Okay, and then the other one you have to know is the purple one here. You don't have to know the green one, and that is extensor carpi ulnaris. Do you see it's the same thing as the front, except they're called extensors? So really the middle guy's different. On the other side it was palmaris longus. The middle guy here is extensor digitorum, but it's hard if we go pinky side or whether. So you just have to remember they're extensors if we're on the back of your hand, if you're looking at the posterior view. So this is that same one that you guys have in your notes. Again, I would have you find this one. You see this one that's, he's actually several. Okay, so that one that I just highlighted green, that's the extensor digitorum, because it's leading out to your digits. If I then go pinky side, so this one is the extensor carpi ulnaris. Ulnaris because it's going down the ulna side. And then you've got 2. You got a shorter one and a longer one. It's longer because it reaches up higher. So these are both extensor carpi going down the radius, but this one's the longest and this one's the brevis. That's brachioradialis. And you're seeing a little bit of tricep brachii at the top there. So this is your picture there. I would have you color code that as well. Alright, you also have this guy. We've only covered the top part, but you're welcome to go ahead and write down the bottom. But we're going to stop there, but you can pause this video and copy some of that down, but you do have the entire guy, so I'm not going to try to hide him for you. And then we will cover those bottom leg muscles and your hip flexors and stuff next time.